Rahalya. I'm working as Managed Fellow. And it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th webinar of the Managed Fisheries Innovation Startup Hub Fortnightly Webinar Series. And before we begin, allow me to share a brief overview of the MANAGE-FISHub. So MANAGE-FISHub is a newly established national level incubation and innovation hub at the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Hyderabad. It is supported by the Department of Fisheries, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. This hub is dedicated to transforming India's fisheries and aquaculture sector through technology, entrepreneurship, ecosystem development. Through these initiatives, we are offering a wide range of programs like incubation programs, mentoring, and capacity building programs designed to help startups to scale their innovations into successful ventures. The fisheries incubation landscape is both vast and full potential, and it provides a structured platform to nurture new ideas and accelerating the technology adoption and strengthen the linkage between the research industry and market. MANAGE-FISHub, it acts as a catalyst, enabling the innovators to convert their ideas into scalable and sustainable enterprises that enhance productivity, profitability, and livelihood across the sector. But our aim is to bring together startups, aspiring entrepreneurs, students, researchers, and investors to build a vibrant and resilient fisheries innovation ecosystem in India. With this, let us begin today's session on startups and fisheries. To move forward with the program, I would like to invite our intern to introduce the first speaker for the today's session.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Archana R from Team MANAGE-FISHub. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Nick Mulakal, a visionary entrepreneur who blends engineering, biotechnology, and purpose-driven innovation to build a more sustainable future. Mr. Nick is the founder and CEO of Ziva Eco-Systems, a pioneering biotech company transforming the animal feed sector through advanced and sustainable protein solutions. Under his leadership, Ziva has established India's first data-centric insect farming facility and introduced cutting-edge products addressing major gaps in aquafeeds and allied sectors. An engineer turned entrepreneur, Mr. Nick Holt, Master of Engineering from University of Melbourne and Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering from University of Calicut. He also completed an executive management program at IIM Bangalore and IIM Calicut, strengthening his strategic and leadership expertise. Before founding Ziva Ecosystem, he worked in Australia as mechanical design engineering and later engineering team lead, gaining deep industry and technical experience. Ziva Ecosystem, founded in 2021, has earned wide recognition, including prestigious honors such as Australian Foreign Ministry's AAGS Award and ICR UPJA Award. The company is also supported by leading incubators, including AG Hub, PJTAU, and ICAR CAFT. With a short introduction, I welcome Mr. Nick Mulakal. Over to you, sir.
Hi, very good morning all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Great. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, you can share now. You're already a presenter.
1 second. It's showing not allowed. Okay, it's came now. Yeah. Just 1 second. Let me know if that's visible.
Okay, sir.
Are you able to see the screen?
No, sir. It's not visible.
Okay.
If there is any problem also, you can share the PPT with our team. So we will share from our side.
Okay, 1 second.
I think it's...
It's not still visible, no?
No, it's not visible.
Okay, I'll share. I'll share.
Yeah, you can share with our team.
Sure.
Actually, are you going to share the PPT, or you can keep in group? I think Mr. Srinivas can share. Anyone, no problem.
Share the PPTs.
Whoever sharing, kindly let me know. I'll make them as a presenter so that you can share.
Yep, so I have sent you the PPT. I think it was Archana, right?
Okay, sir. Sir, meanwhile, you can interact with the participants.
Sure, no worries. So yeah, just to give a brief, myself, Nick, I'm the founder of Ziva Feeds. At Ziva, as the introducer just introduced about myself and the company, we are working on sustainable alternative proteins, primarily in the aqua feed. So we have been working with the insect protein for last 4 years, and aqua feeds is our current product range, which we are currently selling across India. So before starting Ziva, I'm an engineer. I did my mechanical bachelor's from Kerala, and then I went for the University of Melbourne to do my master's. So I'm originally from engineering background, and I worked as an engineering designer all the way up to engineering team lead in Sydney and Melbourne for almost 6-7 years in Australia. Then it was actually during the COVID, which gave me a quiet reflection point of time in my life, because most of my family was coming back, and there was a lot of going here and there and a lot of things happening around the world, right? We see every day thousands of people dying and millions of people dying. So that's the actual time which got me reflecting on, is this something I really want to pursue for my entire career, or can I do something more to create a better world or to create a more sustainable world? So that's the point we were also experimenting some things on the BSF itself, because there was a lot of companies working on insect farming, working a lot of BSF. Because if you think about BSF or the black soldier fly, which we have been working, that's primarily converting all the food waste which will be ending up in landfills into something that's useful and high protein for the entire world. So that's basically cutting down all the greenhouse gas emission and putting that back into the food chain. So it's perfect fit for the circular economy to create a better world. So if you take the long-term impact, it can do a lot for the world. So that's when I realized probably I should do something with my career in my late 20s and early 30s. That's probably the time where I can experiment things on bigger projects than working for someone else and working for some other country. So I decided to come back and start something from India itself, where I started. So I wanted to build from India. That's why I came back in 2021. So since then, we have been iterating, experimenting different models, different trials across BSF and all the related industries. And currently at Ziva, we are working on aqua feeds. And if you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so I think I already explained. So we are as mentioned, I did my master's in the University of Melbourne. Then was over the last 4 years, I have been part of various programs, including various supportive projects from ICAR, CAFT, IRI, UGHub, and various biotech incubators like IKP and IKP in Hyderabad as well. And also be part of the Temasek. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of Temasek, but Temasek is a major investment firm which really takes care of global sustainability efforts. So I'm part of their 2025 Future Leaders cohort, which is of 12 people from across the Asian continent. So I'm one of them. So we have been fortunate to get a part of a lot of global programs out there. And yeah, you can go to the next slide. So this is our current range of product, which is derived from the BSF. So when we started with the BSF, we were all focused on waste management, to be very frank. And coming to the fisheries was accidental in 2022. I'm just putting out quite frank. But since then, we have been putting our intense effort to develop the field further in fisheries and advance the R&D. We have been going through intensive R&D with the CIFT, with the IRI in terms of fisheries, aquaculture, feeds, where insect protein shows massive results and massive improvements. So these are a couple of the products we currently have, which is most of them for the ornamental fisheries sector, which is a huge opportunity for India, but currently heavily bottlenecked because of the lack of quality or lack of focus in aquaculture segment in India. Because one thing we realized when it comes to the fisheries, One thing that major bottleneck for India is because there is a lot of potential, a lot of people working in the industry, but there is very less limited awareness or limited effort to do or focus on the quality. That's a major issue that we are facing in the fisheries, because everyone wants just cheapest food and cheapest infrastructure, cheapest thing. But when you go for the cheapest, it's usually not produced with any nutrition. Just to give an example, each of our feed comes with almost 26, 28 ingredients going in to make a small pellet. So if when you consume one pellet, when a fish consumes a small pellet, that contains a lot of insect protein, which brings in all the digestible protein and all the digestible protein and all the nutrients, all the antioxidants, all the amino acid profiles, everything comes into it. And then we have the spirulina, then we have the carotenoids. So we have a lot of ingredients which is going in to make a proper feed or proper nutrition. It can be sometimes even better than the human food we are taking today. So there's a lot of effort that has gone into formulating this feed formulations, which we currently do. But in aquaculture in India, that's one thing heavily lacking here, because there is very limited knowledge gone into the feed formulation. I mean, industrialized feed formulation, there's a lot of happening in the academic segment, but hardly any of them actually is gone into the feed formulations or the actual industrial stage. That's primarily because of the scarce mindset or the quality, lack of focus on the quality. So everyone just wants the cheap, and when you're looking for the cheap, it probably just comes from the soybean or just comes from the least cost priced ingredients in it. So you don't have anything of high nutrition going in it. So that's one industry that we are trying to revolutionize with better formulations, superior formulations, where primarily the major players are currently from the imported market. So most of them coming from outside US, Europe, branded companies. So we are trying to replace them with a proper Indian formulation, scientifically backed, experimented, and proven technology. So we do our incubation at ICAR, ICFT, and the Kerala Agriculture University. We do a lot of collaborative experiments, R&D. Each of our feed goes into trials. Each of our feed gets formulated there. So there's a lot of experiments going in there, which is hardly seen in Indian startups. So that's something that differentiates us from the rest of the feeds that's available in the market today, especially the Indian brands, which most of them doesn't do any R&D, at least with the public domains. They do a lot of R&D but in their private domain. But we focus on collaborating with our research knowledge, research potential of these massive institutes which Indian ICR has put up. So we focus on that. We collaborate with those scientists. We formulate the feeds, we iterate the feeds and improve that. And we also focus on getting that aligned with the market expectation, by which I mean, like, we can keep on building new product, keep on building, launching new things, but we sometimes we get a bit deviated from the actual market scope. So that for that reason, we operate with the breeders, we operate with a lot of hatcheries, farms out there. So each of our feeds, once it's proven technically or theoretically, we also try that out in the farms, try that out in the hatchery. So that gets experimented there. And some of our field trials are coming back with these inputs. Okay, you can do these things, improve these things. So we will add that into our formulation back, which will make the product even better. So if anyone is planning out for any startup or anything, that's my first input. Like, you have to link the theory to the practical, to the actual feedback from the market. When you link that through, that's when you get a product. So then you have to continuously iterate that as well. So that's something we have been aggressively going through over the last 3 years. And all this pellet segment, which we launched in 2023, and so it's all just getting 2 years now. But we already have 18, 20 products in the market with regular customers, regular breeders, hatcheries, etc. coming to us, most of which is based on insect protein, which is our unique formulation. I'm not sure if we can play the video, and I'm not sure if we even have the time for it, but there's a small video which if we can play if we want, but otherwise we can keep on going with the story and inputs, whichever.
Yeah, no problem, sir. If it is, we can play it.
Yeah. So that link out there in this slide, watch the company video here.
Yeah,
You
last slide, sir.
No, your third slide, the one you're
Third
presenting now.
Yeah.
So there is a link there. Watch the company video here.
Next, please guide us, sir, in which slide?
The one before, third slide.
Third slide. It seems my team kindly move to the third slide.
Yeah, there's a watch company video here. Yeah. Left side.
left side here, watch company video is here, right?
Yeah, you can click on that. Yeah. So yeah, while that's loading, I'll briefly go back to the story. So we started in 2021 with the waste management concept. We were working on BSF because there's a lot of companies, a lot of stories around BSF and the potential use and applications of it. So we started working with the BSF, working on various projects with municipalities, waste management, etc. But one thing we faced real time is there was less focus on improving the waste segment. There was lack of funding, lack of actual civic awareness as well, because no one wanted to actually solve it. It was not a pressing problem. So we had a lot of trouble in marketing that product. So that's when we pivoted, or we looked for what can we focus on, and that's when we switched from focus on waste to the actual product of it. So we were making BSF from it, which was high protein, which was giving better results for the lot of poultries, lot of aquaculture. So why don't we actually focus on that? That's when we started getting focused on this BSF larvae marketing itself. Then we started extracting protein from it, and we went a lot because I'm originally from mechanical background, so it was easier for me to get through the machines and get through the extraction phase. So we optimized the protein extraction. We take the protein out from larvae, and then we started formulating pellets with it. We started experimenting that with a lot of hatcheries, and all. That's how the Ziva was formed over the last 4 years. So there's a lot of journey.
Sir, is this visible, this video?
Yeah, it is visible. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are excited to introduce our whole new category of ornamental aqua feeds packed with the power of insect protein. Developed by the intensive R&D work over 3 years in collaboration with the best scientific institutes, our feeds are rich in amino acid profiles and antioxidants and are highly digestible compared to traditional pellet feed formulations. Zua Feeds is a new way of feeding the fish, giving them the best to ensure their health, growth, and vibrant colours while minimising the impact on planet. Be that for the vibrant tetras or for guppy or cichlids, we have taken immense effort to formulate the right composition depending on the dietary requirements for each variety. We are launching our exclusive insect-based hatchery feed variants as well, to provide the ultimate solution for ornamental fish hatcheries. At the heart of all our technology is our dedicated insect breeding and extraction unit situated in Kerala in India. Our state-of-the-art facility is designed with incorporating innovative vertical farming concepts and minimizing manual labor to ensure 100% biosecurity. Through strict data monitoring and quality control, we ensure each batch has complete end-to-end traceability and is safe from any contaminations.
Through leveraging unique insect protein formulations, we envisage to revolutionize the animal feed industry to make them superior, sustainable, and future-ready. Our carefully crafted ornamental aqua feeds are already disrupting Indian markets today, and we are all set to launch globally by as early as 2025. And this is just the beginning. We have an aggressive R&D team working behind so many innovative products, many of which will hit the market in the near future. So stay tuned, join us, let's make a change to the way we feed.
Yeah, thank you, Archana, for playing that. I hope that was clear and straightforward. So that's the journey so far with Ziva, and we are proudly working with a lot of best institutes in the country at the moment to make a scientific leap and to bring India to the forefront of these innovations and aquaculture, etc. Because a lot of the time, most of the innovations we happening in Europe, US, etc., and most people just want to go out. So that's when I took that personal decision to set that step from here in India itself, because we have a lot of resources. So why don't we just improve that and improve the country rather than just going out and living somewhere and working for someone else company and country. So that's what I see. Most of us are students here, graduates here, so you might be thinking about going abroad, etc. But it's okay, it's good to get that global exposure, but always think about coming back and doing something bigger to make a better change here. And yeah, I think it's 21 as well. So would you want me to continue further, or take any questions, or if you want, we can just run through the slides. I think there are a few more slides.
Yeah, yes, sir. We can continue. At last, we can take the questions.
Sure, no problem. So you can move on to the next slide. So the whole concept of Ziva, once again, is to create a better feeding system or better feeding solution, because currently all the aquaculture feed or all the animal feeds is originally coming from soybean or fish meal, which is two heavily devastating, environmentally catastrophic sources of protein. One soybean, it takes like hectares and hectares to get some kilograms of protein, and a lot of dehydration of the soil, etc., is happening. And secondly, it's a harvesting of large volumes of fish from the ocean and creating all that into a fish meal by crushing and grinding into it. And these two are devastating all the depleting all the ecosystems in ocean as well as in wild forests, etc. So why don't we? It's already 2025, so we should have better ways of sourcing protein and better ways of producing food, rather than devastating and depleting all the ecosystems around us, which is actually the source of the planet or the base of the planet, which we shouldn't be depleting this much to produce the feed. That's the whole concept of why we are doing Ziva. Yeah, please move to the next slide. So at Ziva, we create the same protein source or better protein source from a factory-based model. So we don't have to crush the whole fish from the ocean or deforest the whole forest to produce soy. So we can cultivate the same amount of protein. I think you saw the vertical farming concept in that video. So it's a semi-automated system. So we don't have that huge factories, which like the Europe has for multi-floor vertical farming concept, but because that's heavily capital intensive. So we adopted a more balanced model of semi-automated model of vertical farming. And we rear the larvae, we rear the insects. We have our own formulation. So we most of the BSF companies just work with the municipalities, but just with the municipalities, we can't afford the best quality of feed because there's a lot of contamination, you know, how waste is handled in India. So there is less segmentation happening, less awareness. So there's a lot of contamination possibilities. Due to that, we have identified and formulated our own feed formulation from other sources of pre-used weight. It's not post-consumption, it's pre-consumption. So basically we work with supermarkets and a lot of other vendors to collect the material, and we rear that larvae and then extract this protein. So we don't too much destroy the environmental balance by taking a lot of fish meal into our feed. So that's what makes our feed different, because most of our protein source comes from the insect protein. When I say most, that's because we can't replace it 100%. From our own R&D, we have optimized the maximum level each species can digest as an insect protein. And rest is still coming from the fish meal and other sources of, but because we have to make it digestible and better formulation as well. But we try to maximize the inclusion of insect protein in all the feeds. And we are one of the few companies in the world doing that, focusing on insect protein. And to be frank, there's very limited companies actually pushing the maximum inclusion of insect protein globally. Even if you compare the other European companies, etc., we are par or we are ahead of them in most of the inclusion or application levels. It's currently in the ornamental segment because our production capacities are, we are trying to do experiment, and there's a lot of production scaling issues, mainly because of the funding, etc. So we're doing it in a small scale. That's why we pick the ornamental industry, which is small, but still pays a premium where they can actually see the betterments in color, health, survival, etc. Because for edible fish, it's very large quantity. And if there is a 10% mortality, etc., they don't really care. But for ornamental fish, quality really matters. So that's why we picked the ornamental industry. And over the studies and over the R&D we have done, there is almost 15 to 20% faster growth in the fish. That's why we are converting all the hatcheries, all the breeders into our feed, because they get faster growth. If it's faster growth, they can sell it easier or faster, so their cash flow is increased. And secondly, the water stability is improved from our formulations. It's not directly from the insect protein, but our formulations are superior than the other cheap sources of binders, etc. And thirdly, ours is more fully natural, and there is not many synthetic ingredients that's going into the feed, which like most of the feed ingredients has today, which will affect the overall health of the fish over the long time. So we try to limit as much ingredients as possible to the organic sources, so there is no synthetic elements which will affect the fish health in the long run. So that's our couple of things that we are trying to do. And yeah, please go to the next slide, where we summarize the journey so far and the journey we are looking forward. So we started when I was in Australia. We got selected for this Green Innovation Fund under the UNDP, which was in 2021. That was a small 4-5 lakh grant, but that still gave me the hope and chance that there's opportunity for innovation and making a change. And that was the start of Ziva. With that fund, we started our experiments with the waste management, experiments with the rearing BSF system. And then we got partnered with the CIFT, and also we were part of the EY's Climathon Challenge. We were one of the winners of 2022. So those things actually fueled us to set the base in the waste management segment. And in 2023, we got selected by the Australian Foreign Ministry for their AAGS 2023, which is for the 15 startups every year, 12 or 15 startups every year they select across the world, making the social impact plus the innovation domain. Then we got funded by AgHub in Telangana Agriculture University and also by the ICRI in Delhi for the aquaculture as well as the agri segments of it. In 2024, we launched commercially our pellet feeds, which is all not just for the breeders, hatcheries, but also for the hobbyists and the larger aqua feed segments. And currently we are scaling across India. We have 7 states, distribution set up officially in 7 states, and others going directly to retailers. And we are available in Amazon, Flipkart, Blinkit, and our own D2C website as well. So if anyone has ornamental fish, they can directly go and buy one of our species specific formulations. So typically, like if you're buying any Tayo or any other product that's not really iterated for the particular species, but each of our product is optimized for the targeted species very particularly, like how much protein it can take max, how much insect protein it can digest. So we have done that study to formulate it to the best level. So you can witness that health improvement, activity improvement, better water quality, etc. So currently we are expanding across other states of India and launching a couple of new products and also launching into the bird feed segment. And our first lot to the US was shipped last month. So we have exports starting from 2026. So yeah, that's the journey so far and a lot of things happening around. Yeah, open to any questions or any feedbacks. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick sir, for the highly insightful session on Ziva feeds and sustainable pet nutrition. Explain the major issues with the traditional feed industry and how Ziva is solving them through specific species formulation made from sustainable and traceable insect proteins. And your insights on achieving faster growth, lower mortality, better water stability, and reduced environmental impact were really impressive. And it is really inspiring to hear about your journey from early R&D and collaborations to national and international organizations. Thank you once again, sir, for sharing your journey. And the participants, if you have any questions regarding this session, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hand. So the questions will be taken up now.
I think there are a few questions in the chat.
Yes, I'll take up the questions, sir. So, and Subrata is asking, thank you for sharing your journey with us. That was quite insightful. I got 2 questions. With already big players in the market and more people coming to the animal feed sector talking about sustainability, what's going to be your USPs? And a second question, with more insect welfare research happening and there is some evidence that insects too show a range of cognitive abilities, how are you going to address the sustainability angle while using the BSF in your feed?
Okay, that's a bit tough question, but the first one, there's a lot of big players, of course, but most of the insect companies, I'm not sure if that's actually the animal feed segment you're talking or the global insect feed industry. So if you're talking the insect feed industry, there's a lot of companies heavily funded in Europe, US, but most of them shutting down after their 4 or 5 years, finding it hard to find a market. So that's where we are doing it slightly different. We want to set the base correct and build the market rather than just going big first. So in 2022, we had the option to get the VC fundings. There's some other companies in India funded heavily as well in BSF farming, but we chose to stick to develop the product and we chose to select the market building phase in ahead of our capacity building phase. So we wanted the demand, or we want to create a product in the beginning. That's one thing I want to leave with any other future entrepreneurs here as well. So don't just go behind your passion, trusting it just by the guts, and just scale first before identifying the market opportunity. So always focus on the market and let the market guide you to the right product. So that's something we took seriously in the first 2 years, because BSF we were finding it really hard to market, and the best market we could find was poultry. And even if you do the insect meal and sell that insect meal, you're still unable to match the prices, because you have to be competitive with fish meal, or because end of the day, as Zabila was telling, there's limited focus on the sustainability when it's actually coming to the buying of these feed companies. They don't care about sustainability. So they would want the cheapest meal, or if fish meal is available at 100 or 120 rupees, you can't sell anything more than that. Even if you're sustainable BSF and better quality, you still can't go above that. So that's one real challenge we faced in the beginning, and that's when we chose to actually build some other value added products from it rather than scaling on the insect itself. So that's when we started formulating. And our USP is currently we focus, because we are small, we can focus. Because we're choosing to stay small, we can focus on getting the quality corrected and getting it species specific formulated. And each of our 18-15 product, and most of them are, half of them are maybe size variations, but we still have 8 to 10 different formulations, and each formulation is specifically addressing some particular species. So and within that species, different stages of the fish. So there's a lot of R&D and a lot of feed formulation optimization gone into our feed, which actually characterizes the specific inclusion of BSF each species can take. Because in ornamental itself, if we are talking broadly, and it's different even if you take other pet or other segments, it's very different. But within fish, within ornamental, if you're taking guppy to a betta to an Oscar, the level of BSF it can digest is different. So that's where our actually USP and R&D comes in, where we specialize in the inclusion levels of species level. And insect welfare research, I'm not sure 100% what do you mean by that, but if we are becoming conscious of how the insect feels, or because I'm reading that cognitive abilities, I'm not sure if we are concerned about the actual sentiments of insects, that I'm not 100% sure. But BSF, I would still see that can be more promising sector for the protein than we killing birds or killing fishes. I'm not saying killing small animals is better, but it's in terms of the effect it can have, because this BSF is reared on waste or other food product, which will be otherwise costing in landfills and just producing greenhouse gas emissions. So we are basically converting that waste through their natural converters, bioconverters, I would call, which the insect is. And so we are basically converting all those greenhouse gas emissions, all those landfill pollution and everything into the final protein. And it's again for producing the protein only. We are not doing for producing silk, or we are not doing it for producing any other human products. It's for the feed only, which insects, naturally birds eat insects. So we are just being a catalyst to the natural process.
Thank you, sir. So, Subrata, hope you got the answer. And then Raj Krupal is asking, may I know initial investment, how much it is required?
It depends. It varies based on what we want to do and what we are trying to do. If it's just a BSF, we can do that from even a small pot in the backyard, or to a 100 kg capacity, or to a 2-ton capacity. So it varies vastly based on what we are trying to do. So if you can clarity a bit more, if you can bring clarity a bit more into what exactly, which segment, or if you're talking about the feed segment, it's then mainly about feed formulations, and then the market entry is more important, because working with that, more than investment, it's more about marketing if you're producing a product. I'm not sure if I answered that correctly, but yeah, happy to add on if more clarifications can be produced.
Thank you. So participants, still if you have any questions, I can raise your hands, and also you can directly talk with the speakers. So I think someone has Ajay Kumar and Arun Kumar. Let me check. I'll unmute them. Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar. Okay.
I think there is one more question. So environmental challenges. So most of the fish feed production, most of the protein today, as I already mentioned, it's coming from fish meal, which is by heavy harvesting of marine fishes, ocean fishes. If you see some of the video, like big trenching and big vessels going in and just taking hundreds of tons. We are not even talking about 1 or 2 tons. We are talking about hundreds of tons or thousands of metric tons of fish just being harvested by the mechanical net and mechanical trenching, and then it's all crushed into the fish meal, then used to produce the fish feed. So we are basically killing all the ocean fish to feed the farm fishes. But I don't find it really ethical or the right way to do it. And deforestation, again, a lot of soybean farms, and one of the major causes of Amazon deforestation is also for the farming, which one of that is for the soybean cultivation. So heavily deforesting is this plant-based protein cultivation as well. So that too is what we are trying to replace by alternative or smart protein or future proteins.
Yeah.
And 1/3 of all the fish catch, just to put it quantitatively, 1/3 of all the fish catch is meant to be for the fish meal production. And 2/3 for the human or the direct consumption. 1/3 is just going for the fish meal. And 70 to 80% of deforestation linked to the farming.
Okay, sir. So my team, if you have any questions also, you can talk with the speaker. And Hari is asking, how is cost per kg of your feed?
Again, that depends on the particular speed because it varies heavily depending on the protein. High protein can be around 1,500, which is for the hatcheries. And currently they are using around 3,000 rupees kg Artemia, etc. So we are cutting down the use of early stage Artemia for high protein. That feed is around 1,500 and low protein is around 800, 900. So that's a range we typically operate in, where the actual innovation or the ingredients we use can go in. And why is sustainability critical in ornamental fish production? I see a lot of questions coming in. Why is
protein replace the fish meal? If yes, can you explain how it would be?
So yes, we replace the fish meal, not 100%, but at least 75-80% of the fish meal inclusion is replaced by our insect protein. We keep the 20 just to get the omega acids, etc., which is lacking in the insect protein. So we can't replace 100%. And also the digestibility for fish, if you include 100% of insect protein, it's not fully digestible. So we have to optimize that inclusion depending on the species. But most of the protein is replaced with the insect protein. And business model, scalability, expansion. It's again more coming to the business side, but we do that through operate through distributors. So we select distributors in each state and we plug all the retail shops under them. So we operate with the distributors. And that's in the general trade, and we operate in Amazon. Amazon, we have next day delivery across India. Blinkit, we are open in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad starting December. So we have three states working for Blinkit, and Flipkart also we are available 2-day delivery across India. So that's yeah.
I think one more question, Shivani Gowda. So, sir, it is known that BSF is rich in chitin, and does it reduce the digestibility or affects nutrient absorption by any chance?
Good question. So that's why insect protein, it's critical what stage we harvest the BSF with. So we harvest the BSF before the chitin becomes hard and becomes undigestible. So as the larvae grows, the chitin shell matures, and once it's pupated, then it's fully matured, so it's hard chitin, so it's not digestible 100%. So that's we harvest it before that stage happens. So we harvest even before the pre-pupa stage. So that's why how we optimize that digestibility of chitin issue, and slight low digestible forms of chitin, that's actually good for the fish and good for the health.
Thank you, sir. I think, did you take up this question, sir? Why is sustainability is critical in ornamental fish feed production according to the P?
Again, I don't believe if we crush all the ocean fish to feed the fish in our tank, I don't think that's sustainable. So we need to find better ways of producing fish feed, especially for the ornamental, because we are killing the ocean fish for petting our aquarium fish. that's what being done today. So if we have better source of producing protein, that's what Ziva is trying to do, and to optimize that protein without compromising anything on quality or being better in terms of quality and growth, etc.
Yeah. And then Mohammed is asking, is this insect protein feeds can be useful or productive if used in large scale for commercial scale for edible fishes?
It depends on the price point. We are operating with some farms and hatcheries, some early breeder stages, but for large scale, we find it hard because of the pricing point. Because whether you're feeding fish meal based or insect meal based, once it's in the fish, edible fish, all thing you care about is the actual quality and the final size and the price, right? So if a farmer is able to sell maybe 200 rupees a kg for a tilapia or something, if they are feeding in something of 600 or 700, will never be economically viable for them. So that's one huge barrier that we are facing in the edible fish segment, or in the commercial scale or in the commercial production. But we are working with that to at least include some maybe 10-15% of insect protein. So it's becoming more sustainable without affecting too much in the cost. And also finding on different substrate models for insect rearing itself to make it more affordable for the protein segment. So we are experimenting on that. But as you know, like today, most of the commercial farms buy feeds of around 100 rupees, 120 rupees, or sometimes even 70 rupees feed for the tilapia and all. So we can't replace that with a 200 or 250 rupees, because already in the segment, it's very tight, very lean profitability in the segment. And anything wrong going in the farm, like any contamination or anything, can kill the whole fish. So which can be saved with the quality and nutrition, but the chances of getting farmers to do some experiments is very hard. And secondly, their margins are very thin, so they can't stretch anymore on the feed quality or feed improvement. So that's one major bottleneck we are facing. But we are trying to work with some other farms which is operating globally, not in India, operating globally to be their feed supply. We are operating on that, but we still find it hard to replace the feed with insect protein feed, just because of the economical viability. But that's a future, because any industry starting, which BSF is also in the current stage, will be opening in a higher price point. Then as the gradual global production increases, the price point will come down and the technologies will improve, our drying process will improve. So that can bring down the cost, and maybe down the line, 3-5 years, you can expect more inclusions.
Yeah. So Sumande, I think sir already has answered your question. Santosh has raised the hand. I'll unmute him. Santosh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, Nick sir. This is Santosh
Hi,
from
Santosh.
MANAGE-FISHub. That
Yeah.
was a very inspiring an engineer to an aspiring aquapreneur. Like we were working in Australia. My basic two questions is that, sir, because ornamental is a kind of niche sector in fisheries. How we are
Correct.
focused from the engineering to ornamental sector? How it was kind of you are interested in this sector? And the second thing is that being an engineer to an aquapreneur, there might be some initial challenges you might be facing it. So what are the challenges you have faced in the initial stages in expanding or starting your business?
Good question. So firstly, it's when it comes to a startup, I believe it's always about the team. You're not just a one-person army, right? So we always operate in team, and we have good connections and we have good advisors. So we're kind of well connected with the industry, well connected with the academia, and that's what actually our strengths are. And sometimes when we are expert ourselves in a particular domain, we seem to take less help from everyone else, and that's the other way for me. So because it was not my natural academic strength, I had to take that external help, which naturally connected with me with a lot of other great resources. So I see that as probably an advantage. And one thing I can surely is when it comes to the production or any other thing, I have the extra advantage when it comes to any other aquapreneur, because I have worked in various missionaries, I have scaled multiple projects. So that, and compared to that, aquaculture is probably easier to pick up. And biotech is something I have always been passionate about, protein, etc. So that's I did my biology also. So that's something I have been always capable of and very interested and curious about. So it's naturally easier for me to get into that, and the more you do that, you learn, right? So everything our degree sets us apart is this 3 years of work, right? Or 3 years of time gone into the academic. So entrepreneurship puts you 24/7 almost. So if you do 1 year in that, you're more expert than most of the things happening in academic. So it has been 3 years now in the aqua segment, and yeah, we find it fascinating to work in various things. And to be frank, like there's less innovations happening in the segment. There's a lot of research happening, but the actual application level research is very limited. So we find it extremely opportunistic, and a lot of open opportunities are there for us to make a difference. And secondly, the challenges, I think that's, yeah, I don't find it much challenging. But yeah, there's things that I can't digest as probably I would have been if I was a fisheries background. But that's where helps me to learn and improve and grow. So we connect with the partners who can tell me, okay, this is that. Or yeah, today I think in the 2025, there's not much leverage of our own BSc study or MSc study because every knowledge is available out there, right? If you ask them me or if you chat GPT, you can learn anything in 1 hour, 2 hour. So that old way of our degree qualifying us for do something, I don't believe in that anymore, because it's today we have the capability and resources to reach out to anyone, reach out to any knowledge within a couple of hours. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Archana has raised the hand. Archana?
So I have one question. Like you mentioned about synthetic components. So my question is, in traditional aquafeed, what are the synthetic components they are using, and how you are overcoming that by not using those components?
Sure. So one very good example is it's more profound in the ornamental segment because you need that faster growth, you need that colors to be profound, you need that lot of physical parameters to be shown out, and that's where the synthetic elements mainly comes from, and still keeping everything cheaper. For example, like there is a lot of for colors, everyone uses carotenoids, which are pigments which improves the colors of fish. So we use natural source of carotenoid like paprika and all those carotenoids, which is costlier, but still natural and bio rather than a synthetic based. And most of the people use synthetic carotenoids to improve the colors artificially. We try to avoid that. And then there is a lot of other ingredients which goes into boost the digestion, boost the early adoption of food, etc., by artificial attractants, etc. So we try to stay away from all those. And by using insect oil and insect protein, it's naturally more attractant and palatable compared to the other source of protein, soy or etc. So insect protein gives us a small leverage there. But secondly, we use, even if it's slightly costlier, we try to use the natural sources wherever it's possible. Yeah, because sometimes synthetic, you don't see the harm in maybe first, even some carotenoids, some pigments that first 6 months you don't see anything, but over the time you start seeing the curving, or you see a lot of diseases coming to the fishes. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
So I think that's all the questions. So there are no questions. So shall we end the session? Yeah. Okay. So
Sorry
yeah,
to
yeah.
interrupt. Actually, we want to share a bit on upcoming stakeholders meet. Mr. Santosh, are you available?
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, can you please present on the upcoming stakeholders meet?
Yes, I will share, ma'am. Just give me a second. Ma'am, I cannot able to share. Can you make
Yeah,
me?
I'll make you as a presenter. You can.
Hope my screen is visible now.
Yeah, invisible.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. This is Santosh from MANAGE-FISHub. So we are going to conduct a fisheries startup and aquaponership stakeholders meet. So I'll be explaining what is the program and who can participate in the upcoming slides. So we are from MANAGE. MANAGE is a National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management. It's working under the government of India, and it offers various capacity building, management education, and consultancy services in agriculture extension management. So under MANAGE, we are having MANAGE-FISHub, an innovative national hub established in 2025 under the Ministry of Fisheries. It aims to transform our fisheries and aquaculture sector by promoting entrepreneurship and innovation-driven technology in our entire sector. Oh my. So these are the programs which we are offering. We are offering it for those early aquaponics, early birds who don't have an idea but want to start their career in aquaponership or entrepreneurship. We are having a 22 days online mentoring program where we'll be conducting various programs from various experts will be discussing about the insights of business. So anybody who have idea, have not have idea, can participate in this pre-incubation program. Follow incubation program, we have a specialized incubation program for those established startups or aspiring aquapreneurs who are having some idea, where we will be having based on a shortlist, we'll be selecting the best startups or best ideas, and we'll be giving the training to them, followed by the granting aid. We will be recommending them to the RKV Raftar scheme, and they are capable for getting grant up to 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs. And we are also offering a managed Aqua Eureka program for the fishery students, as well as we are conducting MANAGE-FISHub Fortnightly Webinar series in every fortnightly Fridays. And we are also offering a MANAGE-FISHub internship program for the fisheries graduates from EPG. You are studying in M-FSc in fisheries extension or in other disciplines. It is a kind of 3 to 6 months internship program. So coming to our focus areas, these are our major focus areas: technology, fisheries extension advisory. These are our major focus areas which we are mentoring and incubating various startups and aspiring aquapreneurs who are interested to promote our sector. So the fisheries ecosystem, right? Entire fisheries startup ecosystem is kind of fragmented. The stakeholders are scattered here and there without proper link. Like if a startup really want to scale up their product, they cannot be able to find the actual end customers or the suppliers. So the entire fisheries startups ecosystem is fragmented. And at the same time, there are various technologies. If you go on for that was a recent data from the Ministry of Fisheries. Like there are various AI and IoT technologies have been developed by various startups. But these technologies are adapted only by the top 5 to 10% of the farmers, fish farmers in our entire nation. Remaining 80 to 90% of the fish farmers who are in the bottom of the pyramid are not able to get those technologies. So there is a lack of dissemination of technology. So there is an underpenetrated technology. These startups are doing well actually to the end users, but they cannot able to reach the end users due to the lack of, like as I told earlier, the fragmented fishery startup ecosystem, as well as various innovations have been happening, but it stays local. They cannot be able to scale up to other districts. The interstate network is kind of lagging. And most startups and aquaponics are unable to scale up their product or their produce or service due to the limited access of finance. And most of the fisheries graduates and all are thinking that after completing and master's studying, we are having only the private jobs or government jobs, and they are lacking the skills to start their venture on their own. So many students are interested to start their venture, but they don't have that exact skills and knowledge gaps. So these are the major challenges hindering the growth of the fishery startup ecosystem. So as what APJ Abdul Kalam told, when we collaborate, we advance. When we share knowledge, we will go. So this is a famous quote given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So keeping that in line, we are introducing the fishery startup stakeholders meet. We have planned our first fishery startup stakeholder meet at Tamil Nadu, Chennai, with the collaboration of TNJFU on December 19th, 2025. So this is a program. The program aims to bring all the key stakeholders in a single collaborative platform. So it's basically a one-day program where various stakeholders right from the investors, startup founders, aspiring aquapreneurs, students, researchers, institutions can participate in that program, and they can seamlessly extend their knowledge, resources, and they will be providing the partnership opportunities to them. The main aim of the program is to strengthen the startup entrepreneurship ecosystem by building or establishing a network or connection between them, and by facilitating the dialogue and partnership to build an inclusive ecosystem. So you can experience various startup products every day, can exhibit their produce, technological demonstration will be there, expert panel discussions will be there, startup will be pitching their idea and experience. You can also experience. These are the main objectives. The main objective of this program is to ignite the powerful collaboration between the stakeholders, motivation driven to bring fisheries reality and to open up fresh paths for the sustainable progress of our sector, and to build a vibrant area where innovative ideas, game-changing strategies, and cutting-edge technologies can converge and elevate the fishery startups to establish or to bring down the boundaries of the innovation across the sector. So who can attend? So these are the various stakeholders who can attend, and it's a completely free program. You can register for free. There is no cost for registering. So if you are a fishery student, if you are a policymaker, if you are a FFPU or cooperatives, if you are a fishery startup, you can attend. There is no fee for registration. So these are the key take you attend. You can build network, you can learn and get an exposure of how the what are the innovations done in our sector, and startups can also gain visibility. They can find the actual customers, suppliers, stakeholders, which they can use to scale up their produce. And it also helps to, the main aim of our program is to build new partnership networking opportunities so that the startups can actually grow and scale up then they're local. So that's the main objective. And many startups and aspiring aquapreneurs can discover new opportunities. They can engage with the innovators, experts, and institutions. And many students can also find various startup opportunities actually available in our fisheries sector. So please join our committee. These are our social media handles. You can join our committee, and we'll be keep on posting various programs and webinars which we are conducting from our end. So thank you for giving me an opportunity. Please contact us for any further inquiries. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh, for briefly explaining the stakeholder connect and the various programs being conducted by the MANAGE-FISHub. So I think there are some questions. Can we take up that question regarding the stakeholder connect?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can take it.
Yeah, Subrata is asking, thank you, Santosh, for sharing the upcoming online stakeholder meet. 2 questions. How MANAGE-FISHub programs are going to be different from the programs offered by NFDB? And Raftar programs funds agri extension ideas. That means there will be a lot of agri ideas besides aqua ideas. How difficult would it be for an aquapreneur to compete with agripreneurs? I think, yeah, Usha ma'am and Santosh, I think you can take up these questions.
Usha ma'am, would like to take this question, ma'am, or can I answer?
Yeah, you can both can share your.
Okay.
Sure, Santosh, no problem at all. Actually, for the first question, it is they were asking online stakeholder meet. Yeah, this is not an online stakeholder meet. It is purely offline, happening at TNJFU, Chennai. And regarding to first question, how many FISHub programs are going to be different from the programs offered by NFDB? So certainly NFDB is a nodal agency, and they are specialized in giving training programs to fishers, fishermen, etc. But Manage is very much different from NFDB, as Manage is implementing incubation program to innovative fishery startups. So there has been very much buzz about fishery startups, aquaculture in the entire world, but there is no support system to incubate these innovative startups, especially in the fishery sector. So Manage fills this gap of incubating, mentoring technically and business wise these fishermen or innovative fishers to develop their prototypes or to develop their ideas into prototypes, and thereafter they can do business. And second program, Raftar program, funds agri extension ideas. That means there will be a lot of agri ideas beside aqua ideas. How difficult would it be for an aquapreneur to compete with agripreneurs? So Raftar is not a competition between one startup and another startup. If your idea is innovative, be it there are wide focus areas in where we deal with, especially at Manage. Say, for example, there is extension services, there is supply chain management, there is value chain management, or there is a precision farming sector, or there is a uh, uh, one specific sector for IoT, AI, and digital agriculture. So it is only about which sector your idea belongs to, and what benefit you are giving to a farmer, and how innovative you are. Are you really solving any problem? So our entire mentoring programs or Raftar funding program also depends on how innovative your product is and how it is benefiting a farmer community, whether it is a fisherman community or a better maybe dairy community or poultry community or agri community. So I hope Suprata Dev, your queries answered.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Usha ma'am. So, thank you both Santosh and Usha ma'am for briefly explaining the programs. So now we are running behind the time, so we need to conclude the session. Thank you participants for all your questions. Still, if you have any questions regarding the Nixer session and also regarding the programs of the MANAGE-FISHub, you can still contact us. The details of the speaker and also our details also will be shared in the chat box. Anytime if you have any doubts, you can contact us. And if you miss any part of the today's webinar also, and if you want to rewatch this webinar, the YouTube link to watch the full session is also given in the chat box. And also to stay updated on upcoming events and programs and exciting opportunities from the MANAGE-FISHub, be sure to follow us on our social media handles. And along with this, I just want to update one more thing. So as Santosh has mentioned, various programs that we are conducting, MANAGE-FISHub is conducting. Along with this, I want to update one more thing, that MANAGE-CI is organizing online 22 days pre-incubation mentoring program to guide aspiring entrepreneurs, startups and professionals in idea generation and business validation. So you can register for it. I think last date is the December 7th. On this note, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our speaker, Nick sir, for sharing your valuable insights today and patiently answering all the questions. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And also, I would like to thank our director, Dr. Sarunandra sir, for his vision and constant motivation to nurture aspiring aquapreneurs. And my thanks goes to Usha ma'am and also the Santosh for briefly explaining the MANAGE-FISHub program. So, and finally, don't forget to share your feedback. The feedback link is given in the chat box, and also do register for the upcoming webinar. And thank you once again. See you all in the next webinar. Thank you, Nick sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Catching back.
Thank you, participants.